It started with the little things. I'd lock the doors before bed, yet wake to find the back door slightly ajar. I blamed myself at first, exhaustion from work clouding my memory. But soon, the changes became harder to ignore. I moved to the Appalachians after everything fell apart back in the city. Relationships, my job, my sanity. I thought solitude might heal what therapy couldn't. The old cabin, isolated in a dense forest miles from the nearest town, was perfect. Rustic charm mingled with practicality. No distractions, no complications. Or at least that's how it seemed in the bright sunlight of moving day. For weeks, the isolation felt therapeutic. I chopped firewood, hiked trails, and began a journal to track my progress. Days were productive, but nights brought restlessness. Even then, I dismissed it as residual stress, expecting it to fade over time. And then the small disturbances began. One morning, I found my coffee mug shattered neatly in the sink, arranged almost deliberately, as if someone took the time to position each shard carefully. Unease crept into my daily routine, but logic overruled suspicion. I was alone, miles from anyone. Who could be responsible if not me? Another day, my bookshelf appeared reorganized alphabetically by the author, something I'd never bothered to do myself. The precision disturbed me deeply. I double-checked the doors, the windows. Everything seemed secure, untouched. Sleep became elusive, slipping away just as I started drifting. Nights blurred into anxious vigils, my ears straining at every small sound in the dark cabin. Soon, even the comforting chorus of cicadas and distant owls felt sinister. As weeks turned into a month, photographs on my walls began shifting subtly overnight. Familiar, smiling faces of friends and family turned slightly away, eyes cast downward as if avoiding my gaze. The silence around me grew thicker, pressing against my chest. I stopped going into town altogether, afraid to see other faces, afraid to voice my concerns aloud. And then came the notes. One morning, bleary-eyed from another sleepless night, I stumbled into the kitchen to find a handwritten note on my table. The script was shaky, unfamiliar. "You forgot again," it read. My pulse raced. I searched the cabin frantically, under beds, inside closets, behind curtains. Nothing. I was alone. Always alone. In desperation, I installed cameras around the cabin, determined to find answers. Yet reviewing the footage revealed nothing but hours of silence and empty rooms. Somehow, the anomalies continued, quietly mocking my futile attempts to catch the perpetrator. Paranoia took root, isolation gnawing at my sanity. Shadows morphed into figures. Whispers filled every silent pause. I stopped trusting my own senses. The journal entries, once clear and precise, descended into chaotic scrawls. Days merged into indistinguishable loops of confusion and dread. And then, one night, another note appeared on my pillow. Don't look under the floorboards. Of course I had to. My breath shallow and rapid, I pried up the old wood with trembling fingers. Dirt. Nothing more. Confusion swept over me. As I moved to replace the boards, a glint caught my eye. Paper, yellowed and brittle, tucked just beneath the dirt. Dozens of notes in my own handwriting emerged, each identical to the ones scattered around the house. The dates spanned months, even years, each bearing the same chilling message. You forgot again. A cold sweat trickled down my spine as I leafed through the notes, disbelief clouding my vision. The realization was dizzying, overwhelming. How long had the cycle repeated itself? How long had I been trapped in this nightmarish loop? And then, footsteps. Soft, deliberate. The boards creaked gently behind me. I turned slowly, dreading the inevitable. A figure stood at the edge of the shadows, watching silently. Me, yet twisted, distorted by shadows and something darker. Eyes hollow and empty, mouth curled into a knowing, mocking smirk. We do this every night, it whispered softly, stepping forward with an unnatural grace. You always forget. As my doppelganger reached out a cold, clammy hand toward me, clarity struck like lightning. This isolation had never been therapeutic. It had been a prison. One of my own creation. And tomorrow, I'd forget again. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. A quick shout out to my patrons, Old Penguin, Rinku Star, Melissa Perez, Icy Narrates, Seven Cities Journalist, Cupcake Hips, Eric Cifuentes, Alonso, Austin My Love, Ellie Hutmeyer, Jesse Hartley, Lawrence Wallen, Mr. Sankofa, and William Hartley. I always try to link a different charity in the description, so go ahead and check that out. I'm also going to start having more things on my Patreon soon, so keep your eyes peeled. And as always, I'd love to know how I can be praying for you, so go ahead and drop a comment and let me know how I can do that. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you in the next video.